Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Loughlin has been moving differently lately, and if you've been paying close attention, the shift feels intentional, calm, and quietly confident. After a year filled with noticeable changes, she hasn't made a loud announcement or a dramatic return tour. Instead, she's taken a softer step forward, one that speaks more through consistency than headlines. For longtime fans of When Calls the Heart and Hallmark viewers who followed her journey for years, this moment feels less like a comeback and more like a reset. Over the past year, Laurie's presence has slowly re-entered familiar spaces, but without the fanfare many expected. Rather than leaning into nostalgia or asking for public validation, she's allowed her work and her choices to do the talking. There's a noticeable restraint in how she approaches her career now, and that restraint seems to be exactly the point. She's not trying to reclaim the spotlight all at once. She's choosing when and how to step into it. What makes this phase interesting is how grounded it feels. Laurie has always been associated with warmth, stability, and reassurance on screen, especially through her Hallmark roles. Those qualities haven't disappeared, but they've matured. There's a sense that she's no longer chasing momentum. Instead, she's building it slowly, on her own terms, one project, one appearance, one decision at a time. For fans of When Calls the Heart, her absence was deeply felt, not just because of the character she played, but because of the emotional anchor she represented. The show moved forward as it had to, but viewers never stopped associating Laurie with the heart of that early era. Her quiet step forward doesn't rewrite the past, and it doesn't try to undo it either. It simply acknowledges that time has passed and that growth often happens away from the camera. In the last year, Laurie has been selective. That selectiveness is important. It signals a clear understanding of where she is and where she wants to go. Instead of flooding the market with appearances or chasing multiple projects, she's chosen moments that align with her values and comfort level. That kind of decision-making reflects someone who has learned from experience and no longer feels the need to prove anything. There's also a noticeable shift in tone when she does appear publicly. The energy is calmer, more reflective. She speaks with gratitude rather than expectation, and that subtle difference resonates. It tells a story of someone who has recalibrated her relationship with fame. The goal no longer seems to be visibility for visibility's sake, but meaningful participation. Hallmark audiences, in particular, tend to value sincerity, and Laurie's current approach fits naturally into that space. Her brand was never built on controversy or shock. It was built on trust, familiarity, and emotional connection. Rebuilding that doesn't require grand gestures. It requires patience, and Laurie appears willing to give it time. Another important part of this quiet step forward is how she's stayed consistent rather than reactive. There hasn't been a rush to redefine her image or over-explain her choices. Instead, she's letting the public see her as she is now, not as a carefully curated version designed to win approval. That authenticity, whether intentional or instinctive, is what gives this moment its strength. From a distance, it might seem like very little is happening. But in reality, these small, steady moves often matter more than dramatic returns. They create a foundation that lasts longer. Laurie's past year has been about stability, not spectacle, and that's a notable shift in an industry that often rewards the opposite. Her relationship with Hallmark also feels different now. There's less pressure and more mutual understanding. She's no longer defined by a single role or show, and that freedom allows her to explore opportunities without carrying the weight of expectation. At the same time, she remains deeply connected to the audience that supported her for decades. That connection hasn't faded. It's simply evolved. What stands out most is that Laurie doesn't appear to be chasing closure. She's not framing this phase as redemption or a triumphant return. She's treating it as the next chapter, one that exists naturally after a period of reflection. That mindset makes her quiet step forward feel genuine rather than strategic. In many ways, this year of change has reshaped how people see her, but it has also reshaped how she seems to see herself. There's confidence in knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. There's strength in choosing progress over noise. Laurie's current path reflects both. As time goes on, it's likely that her presence will continue to grow, but at a pace that feels right to her. Whether that means new roles, familiar collaborations, or simply staying selective, the foundation she's building now suggests longevity rather than immediacy. She's no longer racing the clock or the headlines. For fans who have waited patiently, this quiet step forward feels reassuring. It shows that Lori Loughlin hasn't disappeared, and she hasn't abandoned the world that embraced her. She's simply returning in a way that honors where she's been and who she's become. Sometimes the most meaningful moves aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones made with intention, care, and a clear sense of direction. Lori Loughlin's past year has been filled with change, but her next chapter is unfolding gently, steadily, and with a confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. And in that quiet progress, there's a story that feels just as compelling as any dramatic comeback. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.